Hey guys, this is Butch, and just want to thank you for joining us again today. I am at Winston Salem, North Carolina, at Bethabara, which is one of the first Moravian settlements here. And there's a really beautiful old church here. This was used until the late 60s, actually, until they built a new one. And there you have kind of the settlement behind me. You can see it's reconstructed, obviously. But the Moravians, if you, my son and son-in-law years ago, before my son-in-law was my son-in-law, went to Herrnhut, which was the place of the 100-year prayer meeting, where God did some amazing things and through the prayer of a small group of believers. That literally it was one of the first major missions movements in the world. And it's a real pleasure to be here. We're here to do a radio show in the morning to look at the possibility of doing a national syndicated radio broadcast with Simply the Story. So appreciate your prayers. Probably the time you see this, it might have already happened unless I can get this up tonight. But join with me as I go through one of the stories we'll be doing tomorrow. See you in a minute. So I apologize for any sound issues we might have. I didn't have time to run and get my equipment from the car. Plus, it's about 197 degrees. I think water is boiling coming out of the hose. It's a little warm here today. But we're going to be doing the story tomorrow of John chapter 12. That 6 days before the Passover, they were at Bethany, and Martha and Mary wanted to give Jesus a dinner. And Martha was serving, and Lazarus was reclining at the table next to Jesus. Mary came and anointed Jesus' feet with some expensive nard perfume, and then she wiped his feet with her hair. When Judas Iscariot, son of Simon, saw that, he said, "Why wasn't this money sold for a year's wages and given to the poor?" And Jesus said, "Let her alone, because she has kept this for my burial. The poor, you'll have them with you always, but you won't always have me." And there's our story from God's Word. So, I wonder, what do you think it might have been like to be Martha and Mary and Lazarus, and man, now you have Jesus. I mean, here he's raised you or your brother from the dead, and here you have him in your presence. I mean, how joyful do you think this dinner was for them? Yeah, and I love the different personalities we have here, but just to look at the first part of this story. So they wanted to have a dinner for Jesus, and Martha was serving, Lazarus was reclining next to him at the table, and Mary took perfume, expensive nard, and anointed his feet, and then wiped his feet with her hair. I'm curious, what might we learn about Martha and Lazarus and Mary from what they're doing? You know, it seems to me they're all kind of performing in their giftedness, their personality, whatever you might call it. So, what do we learn about Martha that she's serving? You know, there was a previous story we'd done, and I probably should have put something in the introduction, but where Martha was serving and might have gotten a little overwhelmed, right? But in this story, do you see something different? Yeah, we're not told a lot about the details, but and then Mary. So there's a room full of, the disciples were here, her brother, her sister were here, and she poured this expensive oil on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair. What do we learn about her from what she's doing here? Can you think of any cultural setting where a woman getting down and rubbing a man's feet with her hair, where that wouldn't be humiliating, wouldn't be humbling? So what might we learn about Mary from the fact she was willing to do this? Do you think she had any idea how some of the other people in the room might respond? I wonder, do you think she might have wondered how her sister would respond? We've already seen in that previous story, Martha wasn't afraid to speak up if she disagreed with something. But she did that anyway. She anointed Jesus' feet and rubbed his feet with her hair. What might that tell us about her? Yeah, I mean, could she have done something different? Could she have just poured out part of the perfume, part of the nard? Could she have rubbed his feet with a towel or a cloth of some kind? And I mean, it still would have been significant. But what might we learn that she poured it out and then humbled herself in that way? What might that tell us about her? You know, and then the words that Jesus gives just a little bit later on in this story, leave her alone because she has kept this for the day of my burial. Might that indicate that Mary might understand something about what's coming up that none of the other guys have gotten yet? What do you see? I mean, Jesus has been teaching at this point that, you know, over and over that he was going to go to Jerusalem. As a matter of fact, he's on his way to Jerusalem. That he was going to die and be raised on the third day. I mean, who's the only person we see scripturally up to this point that seems to be getting that? Yeah, it's Mary. You know, we kind of see she doesn't hold anything back. She's not concerned about what other people think. I mean, today, how might we apply those Mary principles in our own lives? What might we do to show our extravagant love to Jesus? I wonder if maybe there are circumstances that we need to speak up in that we have a tendency of being quiet about. I wonder if you or I have friends or work associates that, maybe we've been too quiet about our faith. We don't need to beat people up, but maybe just to share what Jesus has done for us. I would love to see in the comment section how you might see application for your own life, or how people might apply the principles of this first part of this story to their own lives today. How might this help us in the future? If you have comments, I'd love to see them in the comment section. If you've not subscribed to the channel yet, I'd love to have you do that. And I am planning on getting this up tonight. And if we do get this posted, I would certainly appreciate your prayers for our radio show in the morning. And I'll also be posting on Facebook tonight how you could actually take part in the conversation tomorrow. It's a live call-in radio show, so we invite you to join us. But until the next time, keep on telling those Bible stories.